ride-alongs to do. So that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button, and we're rocking and rolling. So as we transfer in today, you'll notice I've got a different background. I'm actually at our corporate office in Norcross, Georgia today. I've got a training class here in person in the office, working with some franchisees that have been in business for about 3 months. So just to kind of give you a target, if you will, the top franchisee in this particular class in 3 months. So you guys, let's check back in 3 months and see where you are. But the top franchisee in this class, 3 months in, has sold 40 jobs for a grand total of $283,000. So let's see what you guys do in your first 3 months. There's a target for you. Can you get to 40 jobs and land $283,000? That'd be a great way to start your career with Floor Coverings International. So I want to start us off with a simple question. And I asked this question, we'll probably ask the same question again next week. I want to find out from you, what was your biggest learning from the last week? Now, that might have come from a ride-along that you did. It might have come from some of the homework that you went through. It might have come from a secret shop that you did. It might have come from working with your franchise owner, or maybe something in class that we did. I'm not restricting it to where this came from, but over the last week, what was your biggest takeaway? What was the most important thing you learned in the last week? And let's see, Clayton, I'm going to start with you.
One of the big things I've been working on in the last week is really getting into the InspireNet and kind of comparing. So I'm doing like, I guess, practice quotes next to Scott when we're going through. So he's doing his measurements and I'm doing mine behind him. And at the end, once we get the proposal built, we're looking to see how close I am to his. And if whatever I kind of mess up on some of my pricing stuff and things like that, because some things have got to be adjusted yet in there. And just seeing exactly how close I am to his. So we're getting to where I'm getting pretty close to his. So
nice.
It's getting there.
No, I like it. Azam, how about for you, sir?
You know, I'm going to piggyback what he just said, in that I watched one of your modules on going through the InspireNet on the tablet, and I was making a real dog's breakfast of the manual with the price list that I had, and I started to get them a little bit closer by I have to go back up in your module and you know, stop it and start it and everything else. But I couldn't see a lot of the stuff on the screen, you know, like flipping the room, things like that. I had to go to a bigger monitor. So I put it on a big 42-inch, and it was still kind of weird. I had to mess with it. But I did better by just kind of following the steps, and then going back and then using some of the practice exams. And I think I'm ready when I get out in the field to do exactly what he did. And that's kind of like, you know, be a monkey on the back of whoever I'm with and try to see how close I can get.
Good, good. Patrick?
Or my memory fails me, because I'm still working on the My Job, Promise, Serve, Map Reviews, Better Business Bureau. All that stuff is crazy. You know, but the tablet module helped me move through where my cues were so much better. And I thank you for that.
Good, good, good. Patrick, how about for you?
Good morning. You guys can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think one of the good things that I learned was, like, one on the ride-alongs, was the building rapport aspect. You know, walking in the home and not talking about flooring for a while. And I'm doing these ride-alongs with Gabriel, and he's really good about just talking to people and getting to know them. Just kind of establishing that idea that, you're here to, as a service to the customer, not just to sell them.
Nice.
That's a big thing, and it's sometimes it's kind of, you see the customer, like, kind of, like you mentioned before, like sometimes they're not used to that. Sometimes they just want people to come in, measure, say a few things and try to sell them. And they're not used to, like, kind of that rapport building or just having a conversation.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so important. Mike Conrad.
I mean, honestly, a couple things. You know, a lot of it's like I said, you know, this is really me adjusting things from week before last when I was here by myself, but learning that, like, for me at least, I need to do it if I can't close a customer when I'm inside. If it's not something real simple, like, you know, 1 room, 2 rooms, whatever, something I can't do right there, I need to stop somewhere directly following the appointment to do the proposal. You know, I was finding myself getting caught up, you know, like I said, just getting behind on proposals, or then am taking, you know, getting them wrong almost, not necessarily wrong, but having to redo them several times because I didn't remember and my notes weren't good enough for everything. That's been one big, you know, big thing that I've learned. And also, you know, the fact that being able to follow up with customers more, you know, in person, actually doing like drop-bys and stuff, which is something kind of out of my wheelhouse from really any of the sales that I did before this. You know, you just don't show up at a customer's house again. But those have actually been pretty helpful in a few times.
Good. Let's see. In Lawrenceville, Azam, how about for you? Biggest and most important thing you've learned in the last week?
Hi there, how are you? Hi, everybody. I did a ride along with Mr. Owen. That was a big, you know, good experience for me. We did some measurements and all that. So it was very, very nice experience. Learned about the product through the videos, which was very informative. The tablet, I'm getting better at it, but still there are some challenges that I need to go through. So that's my biggest learning, how to use the tablet, and I'm getting better with it on that.
Nice. Let's see, Armando, dígame.
For me, it was a ride along that was such an eye opener because this guy was so smooth. And when we got there, the lady opened the door and she wanted to go straight to the project, you know, like straight to the floor. These are the rooms that we have to measure, blah, blah. And he was so relaxed and just let her talk about the project and everything. And after she did all that, right, that she was like, okay, she finished talking. Then he went in and started talking about the kids, the pets, what do you do, you know, all that stuff. And just really taking control and building a good rapport with this lady who was, she seems, when we got there, to me, she seemed very close and didn't really want to have a conversation, you know, other than just talk about the floors. And he was just so smooth and like make her feel at ease, you know, and yeah, we're here, we're gonna do the, hey, tell me about this picture over here. Oh, you went to Cancun, that's great, you know. It was just like, I was like blown away, and he actually got the job and everything, because the lady just fell in love with this guy.
Who were you?
So,
who were you with? Who did you ride with?
Who? I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
who was the rider with?
Oh, Mario Izquierdo.
Yeah, Mario. Yeah, Mario.
Yeah.
He's very smooth. He's very smooth. Now, look, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Mario did not know anything about flooring. Nothing. He came into this business with no knowledge about flooring whatsoever. He's just smooth, man. He sits, he enjoys, everything's fine, everything's lovely, and he warms up with the customer, and it's beautiful. He does a great job.
Yeah,
Arlen?
definitely.
I love it. I love it. Sam, let's
Hey,
go out to El Paso.
what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Good morning. A couple things. I learned a lot by going through the inventory in the mobile showroom. We cleaned it out and made sure that everything in there that was necessary, that what is in there. And so that was a very good experience. And also, I've been practicing a lot on the building as proposals on the tablet. I'm trying to become, you know, obviously more efficient in that. So I've been doing a lot of practicing there. And so those are the two main areas that I've worked on this past week.
Nice. Jesse. Most important thing you've learned in the last week.
Hey everybody, good morning. Closed the sale on Saturday, which was great. It was I had Amanda with me, but I led the entire appointment. It was a referral from BNI. We signed and got a deposit same day. And then yesterday I went on my first solo call, which was great. Went very well. We were pretty competitive with the quotes that the guy's been getting. So really trying to get my feet wet. I've been at it since March 6th. So about a month and a half is probably about good time to start getting out on the road. Done about 40 ride-alongs or whatnot. So
yeah, good. John Hester.
Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I would say, the most challenging thing as a newbie in the flooring space is just the terminology of everything, and also the subfloors, knowing, that's probably the biggest challenge for me is what you have, what you need, what you can do on top of what. So it's all of the flooring information. I would say Salesforce as well. I'm not familiar with Salesforce. That's a beast in and of itself. So it's all kind of in the same category for me.
Okay, gotcha. Amelia, what's the most important thing you've learned in the last week?
So most importantly, I'm getting a little bit more familiar with the measuring, and I'm just kind of syncing everything over and going from there. I have been trying to do some of like the intro when I'm walking into the home, or at least like the discovery calls beforehand. So I'm kind of dipping a little bit into everywhere. And also what Sam was saying, I've been getting more familiar with the mobile showroom. We've been filling up, the van here on my end also. So we're up and moving.
Good. Keep moving forward. Michael Forte, most important thing you've learned in the last week?
I think for me, just as someone who's very new to flooring in general, just learning more about all types of the flooring and going back over, the hardwood and laminate and everything, and just learning the terminology. This is all new to me, but it's starting to click, and just trying every day to learn something new about the flooring industry in general, and all the different kinds. And yeah, I'm getting there, but definitely new to me, and so that's probably the most important thing I've learned over the last week.
Nice. Let's see. How about Alyssa?
Okay, first things first. I'm trying to do this on my laptop, so can you guys see my camera? Because my camera's on, but my screen's black.
No, it looks like there's something physically blocking the camera, like there's something sitting in front of it.
That's weird because there's not, but okay. I'll mess with that and figure it out. But anyways, so I would say, so I've been doing this since probably about the end of March. And it started with just like a lot of ride-alongs and things like that while we were kind of waiting for this training class to pick up. But over the course of this week and part of last week was really busy. This week is kind of slow as far as appointments go. So I'm kind of getting to experience how you move and how you manage when things are slow to get your numbers up, get appointments, things like that. Carter and I have been hitting on that pretty good. We've been going through the mobile showroom, making sure that all of our prices are right within the PLM, within Shaw Now. So I'm making those phone calls to manufacturers and kind of introducing myself to them and figuring out how they operate, which is obviously another kind of key part of what we do, making sure that everything is accurate. So, and then I'd say just going into the house, and Carter and I, I've done lots of flooring myself, but with Salesforce, flipping seaming diagrams and things like that, just getting used to being efficient, as efficient as possible with the materials that you're using, is also something that we're really honing in on. I have a chiropractor, and he's actually looking at replacing his floors as well. And we have just kind of some overstock product in our warehouse. And And I've been able to kind of go through that and start meeting with him by myself to see if that would be something that he would be interested in just purchasing outright, because he's looking to install it. So kind of getting to see different sides of appointments, different needs, different clientele. You know, I have 2 meetings today, one with a Shaw rep and one with a Revwood rep of some sort. And so we're really diving deep into the product, and that's really nice too. So I feel like everything's just progressing really well. I'm learning lots across every single platform that we carry, that we have to deal with, et cetera, et cetera.
Nice, nice. Lots going on. I love it. Let's see. How about Anthony?
Good morning, everyone. I've really been learning a lot going through the Inspired sales process, working with Natalie, going through the whole process from start to finish, and working on those percentages at the end, just so my quote is as accurate as hers can be, and doing a lot of measuring. And I had a really good visit up at Shaw last week, where I learned a lot about various products that Shaw carries.
Good, good. Let's see, Roland. The most important thing you've learned in the last week?
How bad the people in the big box stores are when it comes to trying to deal with them, and why their ratings are where they are. You know, I never purchased flooring from any of them before, so it was an eye-opener for me to go in there and nobody could figure out who knew how to run the computer, who was from this section, there was just a cluster. And it was just eye-opening, because it definitely shows how we have an opportunity to make ourselves a differentiator if anyone's experienced that. Because I was just there, you know, for fake, and I was getting frustrated. So that was a good eye-opener for me.
Nice. I love it. And yeah, they get worse and worse. They don't get better and better. They get worse and worse. Let's see. Who am I missing? Tim Lucero.
Good morning, everyone. I guess for me this week, I was trying to focus on listening to my owner in the home and watch his transitions from when somebody's rushing straight to the floor, or just like somebody else brought up, you know, just by being very calm and listening opens the door eventually to just starting the process. And I enjoyed watching that from a bunch of different angles. And I was just really closely listening to what our customers were saying. They were essentially telling us how to move forward with them. Several had mentioned things like, I didn't think I was going to be able to afford to get this done. And there were just things that were said that let us know that there were some high bids in there, gave us a little bit more of an opportunity to talk and strategize at the van. That's something that we did a lot this week with several jobs. And I think the last thing that I was trying to focus on is just trying to get an idea in my head how a contractor would perceive a job to not be a good job for them to do. So I started to try to ask questions and understand, like, if I sell this with the wrong transition, what does that do? Or, you know, some contractors, it turns out, like different transitions than others. They like working with a certain style. So I was getting to know that a little bit. And I think that's real important, because the easier we can make it within, you know, a certain parameter, the smoother that goes, and, you know, the better experience I think the customer has. So
nice.
And I did also get the opportunity to, we had a customer we had to turn down. They had a flooded basement. They wanted to put back in used product. So it wasn't something we were going to get involved with. However, I offered to help because I wanted to understand the pains of installing a floor. And it was probably something our contractor could have done in 3.5 hours. It took me 9. So it was a lot of work, but I think I picked up on the LVP side, you know, some insight into, you know, what they're thinking. They got undercut door jams when they're moving in from a laundry room into a main room. Should you bring it right in from the laundry room, or should you put a transition there and work from the outside wall? I had to ask all those questions. So I think that was very helpful as well.
Nice. Good. Let's see. Ashley, I know you're on the road. If you can do this without pulling the car into a ditch.
I can. I'm hands-free. I would say for me, I've done 2 customer appointments the last couple weeks on my own, not riding along, kind of learning on the job. But the most important thing probably I've learned among all of the things I've learned is the importance of an accurate local price list. Because some of my proposals were, really, really good. The measuring has gotten so much easier for me on the tablet, and the proposals have still been a little bit off because my numbers haven't been super accurate and close to the real pricing. So, just kind of learning little things as I go, but that was probably my biggest.
It's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to figure out. All right, let's see. David Tanner.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about the video. It's very choppy. I'm working off my phone. Arlen, I apologize. I look to be back on Wi-Fi shortly. I think it's just resetting. As far as I've been diving into product knowledge, somebody else mentioned it's first time flooring for me anyway. And so it's been a lot of product knowledge. I will say, though, that the one thing I caught off of Floor U while going through the videos was in the second week, there's a video about pricing options. There's like 3 different options. And I didn't know you could do that with the tablet. So that's huge for me because I enjoy having my appointments be fun and interactive. And I think if I could show 3 different price groups, bring in 3 different products, I can honestly really guide people to the medium top product line. But it would be great to show that, hey, listen, I'm here for you. If we need to go cheap, let's or inexpensive, excuse my terminology, we can do this, or we can really show the nicer end stuff too. So I loved the 3 options. Thank you.
Good. And that tees us up very nicely for what we're going to do today. Is we're going to spend some time talking about options and strategizing how to pull different options from the van. Good.
I love that, Arlen. I'm a big fan. Sorry.
Good. Let's see. Richard, I think you're last but not least.
All right. So the thing that I actually learned is follow-up. Follow-up's a big deal. So I wasn't following up with a couple of my customers, and I had to send off a proposal, and now it looks like they're probably going to end up getting from me, and it's a pretty nice size proposal. If it goes through, it's going to be about 22 grand. So follow up is a huge deal. Huge deal.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, good. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. I'm going to take a very quick look at the scorecard, and I want to make a couple of comments around that before we dive into our material today. So let me just blow this up and make it so that you can see it better on your screen. All right, so first of all, I know several of you have sent me notes, have sent me emails about the fact that there's some of these modules that doesn't matter how hard you try, you just can't get them to click over. So week 2 is one of those. For whatever reason, there's a ghost in the machine and I can't figure out how to get rid of it. I've tried taking training material out, putting it back in. The reality is, look, if you're getting an 80-90% here, then you're done. Keep on trucking. Obviously, if you're at 10%, there's still work to be done. But I'm not looking, like here, John is he's at all hundreds except for this one stupid week that won't click over to 100%. So if your OCD kind of works on you, this is one area that you're going to have to kind of let it go, because it just no matter what I do in that particular week, I cannot get it to do what I want it to do and actually mark it at 100%. So just give yourself a little grace and know that it's not like that's going to prevent you from finishing the class. Just keep on trucking. I'm very excited about the ride-alongs. I mean, the progress that I'm seeing on these ride-alongs is absolutely fantastic. I updated this, I don't know, it was about 6:30 this morning when I updated it. So if you log something after that, then maybe your number's a little different than mine. But I mean, we've got people at 44, 49, well over 30 ride-alongs, 40 ride-alongs. I mean, it's just, as I've said before, it's not that you can't do it with without the ride-alongs. It's just that the ride-alongs give you it allows you to see stuff that you're never going to see in classroom training. You see it in real life, and now you feel it, you touch it, you smell it. And if you're with somebody like Armando was with Mario, you're with somebody that's just smooth at what they do. My gosh, you learn so much about the sales process. And even if you're somebody that maybe is not so smooth on sales, you learn so much about the technical process as well. So it just keep plugging with those. There's so much good stuff to be had there. All right, let's jump into today's official material. I'm excited about today. As we move through, we've looked at our scorecard. I'm just going to do a quick check-in around the homework, and then we're going to dive right into inspired sale practice. So we're going to spend a ton of time with the tablet today. If you don't have yours right there handy, you might grab it because we're going to spend a lot of time in the tablet today. So where are we today? Last week, we spent time talking about the setup call. We've spent time talking about the warm-up and the benefits of the warm-up and what we're trying to do there. We spent time around step 2. Today, we're going to spend the bulk of our time in step 3. So what is the point of step 3? What are we trying to do in step 3? Well, we're doing 2 things. One, we're inspecting the space and we're creating an inspection video. And the second thing is that we're going to measure the job. So the setup call, great, we did a setup call. The warm-up, we're not talking about the floor, we're understanding something about the customer. Then when we inspect the space with the customer, step 2 is all about us getting information. So at the end of step 2, I sell the reference list, the customer goes away, they're starting to call the reference list, and now that gives me some solo time to shoot my inspection video and to start to measure the job. So from what you were able to gather from the Floor U material, what's the point of this inspection video?
To show the necessity of the project that needs to be done. Also, to get the customer involved in, or to be the owner of that problem. So they need to decide on solving it. So
I think you're
good.
You're showing your expertise. I think you're showing the customer that your expertise on the flooring and all the types of what's laying down and what could be possible improvements.
Okay, without selling, right? So we're not talking about the new floor yet. This is purely just what's there today.
Yeah,
right? This is just what's there today.
Just showing the expertise that you know about flooring.
Yep. So who is the audience for this video?
It's the customer.
Yeah, 100%. It's the customer.
Yes.
So this is not, let me be really clear here. This is not a video for your installer. This is not a video for your production coordinator. This is not a video for your office manager. You might take another video later for those people. This is a video that is expressly designed to be played for the customer. Okay, it is purely for the customer. How long should this video take?
No more than, say, 90 seconds.
Yeah, and I would say 90 seconds is probably on the long side.
Right.
So this should be 45 seconds, a minute. Maybe it's 90 seconds, but this is really quick. This is this is like a TikTok. Okay, this is going to be quick and to the point. Okay, this is quick and to the point. So let's say that I'm in a house and it's a big 6,000 square foot house. How am I going to shoot an inspection video in 45 seconds in a 6,000 square foot house?
Concentrate
you're going to point out major concerns.
That's it, Jesse. Say that again, Jesse.
I said you're not going to. You want to point out major concerns.
Bingo. That's all I'm doing is I'm pointing out the big concerns. All right. So Jesse, when you say major concern, I want to focus in on the word major. What defines a major concern?
Potential trip hazards and carpet. Maybe the dog scratched up the floors really, really good, and could be just how poorly installed the carpet is, or how poorly installed the luxury vinyl or floating floor is installed.
Okay.
Water
All
damage,
right. Any
mold.
Moisture.
what was that?
What the client
damage
say
or
had you
mold.
come in there for.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. What the customer called me in there for, right? So this is, we want to be careful here, because the major concern is what the customer says the major concern is. So yeah, Jesse, you're 100% right. It might be that I look around and there's a trip hazard and it was poorly installed and the dog is eating a hole in the carpet. I mean, these are big things, right? But the customer says, well, the reason I want to get rid of this is because I hate this color. Now, while in your mind, it might be that all these other things are more important, in the customer's mind, the number one thing is the color's wrong. So the person that gets to define the major concern is the customer. The customer defines the major concern. Even though we might see something and think, oh, this is a bigger deal than the color, because you can live with the color, but you can't live with this. Nope. It's the major concern is all about the customer, right? It's what is the big concern for the customer. So I'm going to give you a script. This is not something to memorize. This is purely something to help you get started. Okay, you can use this script, you can not use this script. I find for most people, the hardest thing about shooting an inspection video is just getting it started. Once you get it started and once you've done a couple of these, it kind of rolls off the tongue. But you might start your video with something like this. This is Arlen Brady with Floor Coverings International. I'm at the home of Amelia Lovato and at 123 Main Street. Okay, now watch this. At this point, now I'm gonna, in the video, I'm gonna address Amelia directly. So I'm not gonna say, this is Arlen, I'm at the home of Amelia. She called me out to do this. No, I'm not gonna talk about she. I'm gonna talk about Amelia, you said this. Because when I play the video back, I want the video to be talking directly to her, not talking about her, right? So here I am, this is Arlen Brady with Floor Coverings International. I'm at the home of John Hester at 123 Main Street in Duluth, Georgia. Hey, John, during my inspection, I found that there's a spot over here where the dog has completely ripped up the carpet. There's a big hole in the carpet right here. You know, this is caused by, well, what caused it? It's not the dog that caused it. This is caused because this particular type of carpet has lost complete adhesion with the backing of the carpet. If this is left untreated, it's going to continue to spread, not so much because of the dog, but because now that it's broken free from the back of the carpet, it's going to continue to unravel. Yeah. But what I'm most concerned with is the color of the carpet, because you said that you absolutely hate this beige color, you know, and this is the color of the carpet that it was when you bought the house. If this is left untreated, you're going to absolutely hate this carpet more and more every day of your life. So my recommendation is that we pull this carpet out so that you can get the floors that you need. Now you'll notice whether I think the hole in the carpet is a bigger reason or not, it doesn't matter. Whatever the customer's big reason was, that's the one that's important. That's the one that's important. The other thing you'll notice is I'm not selling anything. I'm not talking about, in my professional opinion, we need to pull this carpet out and we need to put in this wonderful waterproof luxury vinyl plank. I mean, this stuff is the best thing since sliced bread. No, I don't care. This is not the time to sell. This is the time to simply give back to the customer what they've already given to me.
Arlen, I have a question. If the video is just for the customer and you're filming it in the customer's home and then you're going to turn around and play it back for them, why do you need to introduce yourself and say that you're in their home and that whole deal? Like, it seems like it's almost too formal for the situation. Am I missing a purpose for that piece?
Good question. It's twofold. All right, it's twofold. First of all, it does make it sound more professional. 100%. It makes it sound more professional. So when I introduce myself and I get into it, it makes the videos sound more professional. But there's a selfish reason too. For most people need some kind of little introductory line just to get the tongue to start moving, to start talking. And this gives you sort of a consistent way to start your inspection video so that, I mean, by the time you say this is Ashley with Floor Coverings International at the home of so-and-so, now all of a sudden your brain is kicking in and everything's moving and now you're ready to rock and roll. And so it honestly, yes, it does make the video sound more professional, but it's a little more selfish than that. It actually helps you kind of get into the video. It gives you a purposeful introduction in the video.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
All right. The other thing
Maybe
I would
jumping
say
the gun on this, but I'm just going to ask anyway.
Yeah.
Can you later resend the video to a customer with a proposal?
You can, you absolutely can do that. It would mean taking that video and copying it to like some sort of a shared drive, like a Google Drive or a SharePoint or Teams or something that you can then share it from.
Okay, yeah, I was just thinking for the ones like I've had more and more that I can't close on site. I have to do an actual proposal. So that would be a nice thing to add in with it, remind them what we were there for.
And Mike, I'm going to challenge you and say, we got to figure out how you can price stuff up in the home. So there might be some technical skills that we need to work on there, but I'm going to challenge you that 95% of the time, if not more, you should be able to come up with a price in the home and not have to send the proposal later. You ought to be able to present the price in the home.
Well, oftentimes if I can, but if I can't close them, I'll still send the proposal or I'll schedule a time to come out. Most of the time, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some jobs I've had that were like several different floorings, like the one that was only like 13 grand, but it was 3 different floorings, you know, 3 different in 2 different trips to make it up, you know, so, but yeah, most of the time I do, it is something I do find, you know, sometimes because I have had issues like syncing, but that's neither here nor there. But unfortunately, I'm finding, and this is frustrating to me because I'm used to closing people on first visit, you know, like in my other sales careers. So I am finding that unfortunately, I'm not closing a whole lot of them right on the first visit. It's usually second, third visit.
Good. Okay. Good. The reason I say good is not that that's a positive thing, but it gives us something to work on. So it's good. And I will, you know, but there are times when, you know, I've run many appointments for property owners. So I'm at a rental house. They don't even live in the state. They live somewhere else. The property is in my territory. So I've gone into this person's rental house. And as a result, I end up sending them a video, and it might be longer than 45 seconds. I send them a video of what I'm seeing in the house to go along with the proposal. So there's legitimate reasons to do so. All right, good. So this inspection video, the other thing that Ashley that I'd say about the introduction is every good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so by having this introduction at the beginning, it gives this story a nice beginning. Then I can ramp up to a big item. So there's the big climax of the story. And then I've got a nice little conclusion at the end of it, which basically says, in my professional opinion, we're going to pull this stuff out and get you a floor that you love. All right, so I want us to do this is going to feel weird over Zoom. I know it does, it always does, but I want you to actually practice doing one of these. Now, what is this going to look like? I don't expect you to do it on the tablet right now. What I do expect you to do is I'm going to try to pair you up in a group of 2, no more than 3 people. And I just want you to look at the space that you're in and pretend it's so-and-so space, and act like you're filming an inspection video. So for example, if I was working with Patrick, I might say, this is Arlen Brady with Floor Coverings International. I'm at the home of Patrick Shanahan. Patrick, right here in this office space that I see, I have been able to uncover that there's some places where the carpet appears to be coming up, and the reason for that is that the glue underneath the carpet has just not set right, and if it is left untreated, eventually these carpets are going to come up, and it's going to become a problem for you. But what I'm most concerned about is what you told me, and that is you just absolutely hate the color in this office. And so my recommendation is that we go ahead and get this carpet out of this office, get a new flooring put in here so that you can love where you work. Okay, good, right? So this is going to be quick. Go back and forth a couple of times, practice saying some words, and then when we come back in the big room, I want to be able to get your feedback on, you know, what's comfortable, what's uncomfortable. I expect a lot of it's going to be uncomfortable today if you've never done one of these. So this is going to be a quick breakout room, probably no more than 5 minutes. And let me get that set up. and make sure, yep, that's okay. Oh, this is going to work out well. Perfect. All right, guys, off you go. People are popping back in from the breakout rooms. Just a few more seconds and everybody will be back. Here we go.
Oh, we got kicked out.
Yeah, well, that's
All
cool.
right.
All right.
Good stuff.
Good job.
Good stuff. So, what was good? What's the good, the bad, the ugly? What was comfortable? What was not comfortable? Share some stuff from your group with the rest of the class.
Hearing different perspectives of what other jobs might entitle.
What do you mean, Jesse?
Well, Mike was going over a project that they did that somebody came into their house, installed their carpet very poorly, and then he came in and quoted them to re-stretch the carpet. I didn't even think that was a thing.
So what did that inspection video sound like?
It sounded like how he went over his concerns with how poorly the carpet was installed, and that he showcased that was the major concern of the customer. And in the inspection video, he explained that they would be able to re-stretch this carpet.
Okay, good. Good. Other thoughts?
I noticed in Timothy's inspection video presentation, I'll just call it, he was very specific and definitely showed that he was, even though we're doing an inspection video and we're concerned about what the customer is concerned about, and we're basically just rephrasing that to them, he made sure to kind of throw in his expertise and be like, you know, the reason that the scratches and dents here, because the 20 mil wear layer is gone. We carry products, and it'd probably be in your best interest to look at products with a 30 to 40 mil wear layer to give you the longevity of your floor. So it was really just like the customer didn't know about a wear layer, right? But he just kind of threw it in there like, hey, this is the technical term. Hey, this is the cause. Hey, I have these things that could be the solution, but was clearly the expert in it.
Good, good. Just be careful that you don't end up getting into where you're selling in the inspection video, right? So you can sort of allude to the fact that, yeah, we've got some products that are going to last longer than this or better than this, but you don't want to get too far down that rabbit trail. And the reason I say that is because then you come out of the inspection video and the customer's really excited. Okay, show me something that's got a 30 mil wear layer, but you're not ready to do that yet. So just be careful that you don't end up getting into sales in the inspection video. The inspection video is purely about showing them what they showed you. Good, thanks for that feedback though. Another one, something that you guys heard that you liked, you didn't like?
Amelia did a great job and really spoke to what was important to me. I like that. Basically speaking my language.
I love it. That's the key, right? You use the customer's words, you can't go wrong. Good. All right, so if I go backwards for just a second, step 3 is about the inspection video and measuring the job. So we've shot our quick inspection video. The customer hasn't seen it yet. All we've done is shot it and left it on the tablet. So now we're going to talk about measuring a space. We're going to get into some details here. We're going to get into some weeds. So when we're measuring a space, most of really all we're trying to do is come up with an estimate of how much square footage we need to do something, right? From your drawing, do you need to be able to go back and build a house? No, you really don't. At the end of the day, all you're trying to do is come up with a total amount of square footage. That's it. So I'm going to challenge you, because I know there's some people, you know, we're just this way by nature. Some of us are going to be really quick and dirty with it. Others are going to be just so precise that it takes you an hour and a half to measure 3 rooms. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is just get really, really comfortable at being close enough. So for example, when you're measuring a space, here I've got this room that's got a little diagonal in it. You know what? I'm not going to measure the diagonal. This is just going to become a rectangle in my tablet. Now, why am I going to get away with this? What do you guys think? How am I getting away with doing it this way?
The waste.
Waste. Yeah, take it off the waste.
Well, I'm going to leave the waste right where it was, John. If it's a 10% waste, either way, I don't care. So why am I going to get away with this?
Because
you have to order a box.
5%.
Because
It's
there's
only
only
like 5% of the room.
And you have to order so many boxes anyways.
That's right. This is such a, one, it's such a small percentage of the room that who cares? Two, most of, like, whether it's an LVP or hardwood, most of your hard surfaces, they come somewhere around 25 square feet a box. Okay. I go into a lot of houses where this little corner might only be worth 3 or 4 square feet. So if I have to buy a 25 square foot box, why do I care about 2 or 3 square feet? It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the estimate to the customer. It doesn't change what I'm going to have to order from the manufacturer. It doesn't change what the customer is going to buy. Because when the tablet says, oh, you got to round up to the next 25 square feet, what difference does it make? Now, I don't want to be sloppy, okay? And I'm not trying to convince people to be sloppy. I'm not trying to be sloppy. What I am trying to do is I'm trying to look at these little small things that don't matter and quit wasting time for them. So I want to measure, like, here's another space. This is maybe a kitchen. If it's a big island, sure, I'll take out a big island, but 2 little squares like this, and maybe I've got this little bay window, I don't care. This is such a small amount of square footage that it's not worth your time. In the end, it's going to round up to the next box anyway, so what difference does it make? So I see people, now look, I know that there's some people that maybe fall too far on the other side of this, but oftentimes I'll see drawings in the tablet because I can go back into Salesforce and I can see what you guys are drawing in the tablet. And I mean, they look like you could give them to a builder and they could go rebuild the house. That's great, except that it probably took you 3 hours to do it. And the value of your time is sitting in front of the customer. The value of your time is not sitting in front of the tablet. Okay? Your face should be in front of the customer's face, not stuck in front of the tablet. So I want you to find ways to make the tablet part of this quick and accurate, but close enough. Yes, John.
I guess the point is, I mean, I've pushed through all the way to a proposal, and I mean, these kind of room things and everything else are going out to the installer, but customer's not seeing it anyway, so I'm not going to get any pushback. So why shut the dead time down a little bit by just going this way, right?
That's right. And the reality is I have other tools for the installers. I don't have to send this drawing to the installer. I have other things I can send to the installer. Okay, there's other ways that I can communicate to the installer without this. And to be honest, whether the installer got a square or the installer got a square with this little cutout, you know what the installer is concerned about? How many square feet is it? They're not concerned about your drawing. They're concerned about how many square feet is this. So I take a kitchen space like this one. Well, you could measure this and get really, really, you could get really tight around this, but you could just make an L shape, or you could just make 2 boxes. I mean, the reality is you don't even have to make an L shape in this. You could literally go in and build 2 boxes in your tablet. And there's my square footage right there. Now, if you're concerned about the square footage that's under the cabinets, that's fine. You can come in and do in this case, you've got an L shape, and maybe I didn't take into account the cabinet area, or maybe you've got something like this and you did, but then you used a takeout for the cabinet area. That's fine. But again, I've seen people that will take a shape like this, and especially because it's got this little angle down here and you got cabinets and you got an island, and I've seen people take 20 or 25 minutes to draw this shape. And I'm telling you, I'm going to come into this kitchen. I'm going to draw 2 boxes like this. I'm going to be in and out of this kitchen in about 30 seconds. And it's going to be close enough. This is not nearly as important as people make it out to be. I mean, it's important that it's close enough. Okay. I remember when I first started doing this, I was drawing my house, and there's this, from my master bedroom, there's this little hall that goes to the master bath. And there's this little tiny angle. And I mean, it's like 3 inches. It's nothing. It's 3 inches, for crying out loud, but it goes at an angle, right? And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to figure out this angle? And I kid you not, I'm sitting on the floor with a protractor. I'm trying to find a digital angle reader so that I can figure out exactly what this angle. I couldn't get out of my own way until I finally realized that, wait a minute, it's all going to round up to the nearest 25 square feet anyway. Who cares? And that was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And I'm like, you know what? It's close enough. Because whether I figure out this 3-inch angle, blah, blah, who cares, whatever, or not, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be rounded up to the next box anyhow. So why am I wasting my time?
Hey, Arlen.
Yes.
And even if it does round up to the next box and you do end up with 1 extra box at the end, it's no big deal because you can also leave it with them. So, hey, if you ever have any piece of damage, we've got some left over for you.
Yep. Now, I don't want to be so fat that, I've got 3 or 4 boxes left over. Okay, that's now we're getting extreme, right? Let's not go that far. But to have a box left over, that's a good thing. All right. But I want to talk about, so we're measuring. So we're back. Let's just think about this chronologically for a minute. We've had our warm up. We had our chance to do the inspection with the customer. They're calling reference list. Now we've done our inspection video and we're measuring the job. Okay, we're measuring the job. Step 3 is where we put together what I call our rough draft of the proposal. I may not know the exact product that the customer is going to pick, but I know about where we're going to land. How do I know? Because in step 2, the customers told me what they want the product to look like and feel like and how they want it to last. So in my mind, in step 3, I should kind of have an idea of what we're going to pick out here. Okay, but I need to strategize. I need to be able to strategize what my different options are going to be. Okay, so I'm making sure that David's here. Yep, I've got David. So how am I going to build some strategies around this? I want to make sure that I build at least 3 options in the tablet. So if you like good, better, best, that's great. I think of option 1 as, option 1 might be, if the budget really weren't the constraint. I'm not talking about we're going to lace everything with gold, but if the budget really weren't a constraint, what would you love for this house to look like? What would you love this space to look like? Some people call it building the dream, but I'm a little careful with that language because it's not your dream, it's the customer's dream. Your dream is to sell the most expensive product in the van and make the most commission. But I'm not talking about your dream. I'm talking about the customer's dream. So what would the customer's dream house look like? Okay, great. Option 2 might be, you know what? This is exactly what I would do in my house. If this were my house, this is exactly the way that I would do it in my house, okay? Or maybe option 3 is, this is the cheapest way to do it, but still do it right. We're not cutting corners. Option 3 might be the cheapest way to do this and still do the job the right way, okay? There should be, between option 1 and option 2 and option 3, there should be about a 20 to 25% gap between these. Why am I purposely putting a 20 or 25% gap in price between these options?
So you can see a substantial difference and the customer can pick and choose what price point they want to be at? Right.
So Jesse, if I show you a price at, let's say, $9,900, and then I show you another price at, let's say, $9,700, is there a difference between those two numbers?
No.
No, there's not. That's all the same thing, right? In my mind, it's all about 10 grand. But if I show you 9,900 and then I show you another one that's about 7,500, okay, well, now there's a difference, right? And the customer's mind, they see that difference. So let's talk about some strategies. You go into a customer's home and the customer says they want a product that looks like wood, okay? How could I build options when the customer says they want a wood floor, they want this floor to look like wood? How can I build options around that? Well, I'll just go ahead and give you the first one. I might choose hardwood. Hardwood looks like wood. And it might be that my option one is a higher priced hardwood. So option one might be a PG3 hardwood, a price group 3 hardwood. Option two might be a PG2 hardwood. Option one might be a PG1 option three might be a PG1 hardwood. So it might be that I'm giving you hardwood, but I'm giving you 3 different price points in hardwood. So option one might be this nice 5-inch wide, big, heavy board. Option two might be something a little lower than that. Option three might be something a little lower than that. Okay, but all 3 of them are hardwood. What's another way that I could build 3 options for this customer?
Different products.
Yeah, different.
What do you mean product?
Different
categories.
categories.
Hardwood versus the laminate versus the vinyl.
Engineered
Good.
versus laminate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I could do a hardwood floor. So my option one, you said you wanted something that looked like wood. Well, wood looks like wood. So there's my option one. Maybe option two is I pull out a luxury vinyl plank that looks a lot like wood, and maybe it's the same color or it has similar features to the hardwood that they love. Maybe option three, I pick out a laminate floor. Okay. Now, what's important about this, and I'm not finished with this thought, but I want to go ahead and interject something here. I go to the van and I'm preparing 3 options. So the customer is calling the reference list. I've done my video. I've done my measurement. I'm out at the van and I'm pulling products. Option one, I've got a PG3 hard. This is the strategy I'm going to employ. I've got a PG3 hardwood. How many boards of hardwood do I want to pull for the customer to look at?
One.
Just we'll just do 1.
3 and maybe 4.
Right.
3 and maybe 4. Option one, I want the customer. So I'm not going to present when I walk back in the house. I'm not going to lay out. Here's option one, option two, option three. Pick one. That's not the way we're going to do this. I'm going to show them option one, and I'm going to stay with option one all the way until I show the price for option one. And it's only when the customer says, I'm never spending that much money for this product, that then I'm going to go back and find and pull out option two. So we're going to focus on option one. Okay, we're going to focus on option one. So I want the customer to feel like they had choice. If I only bring in 1 board, does the customer feel like they had a choice? This is still a shopping experience. So I want the customer to feel like they went shopping. Well, they're not going to feel like they went shopping if they only got 1 board.
Can you bring out the hardwood doing, I'm sorry, are you bringing out 3 different levels of hardwood or all the same price group?
Nope. So so in this particular case, so let's just focus on this strategy right here.
Okay.
A PG3 hardwood, and then I'm bringing in a vinyl, and then I'm bringing in a laminate. Okay. So here's my strategy for hardwood. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 hardwood boards that are all close in price. They may not be exactly in price. It's okay. They're all in the same price group. They're all close to the same price. Okay. I'm not concerned about the exact price yet. We're going to get to that later. These are going to be close enough in price, close enough in price. Okay. We'll dial it down later. Right now, it's close enough in price. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 boards and let the customer choose between those 3 or 4 boards of hardwood. Okay. So that's my strategy. Now, down the road, if the customer says, I'm never spending 20 grand on this floor. Okay, great. I've got another option for you. Now I go back and I've got my luxury vinyl plank options. How many luxury vinyl plank boards am I going to pull out for them to look at?
3 to 4.
3?
3 to 4.
Probably 2 or 3. So if option one was 3 or 4 boards, option two, I'm going to bring the decisions down a little bit. I'm going to bring the options down a little bit. So now there might only be 2 or 3 boards that I look at. I get to the end and they say, I'm never spending 10 grand for this floor. What else have you got? Okay, good. Now I've got my option 3 built around laminate. How many laminate boards am I bringing in?
1 to
Maybe
2.
1 or 2. So, yep, somebody picked up the pattern. Good. So option 1 is probably 3 or 4 boards. Option 2 is probably 2 or 3 boards. Option 3 is probably 1 or 2 boards. I'm bringing the number of choices down a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Okay. But what's important here, so wait a minute, I've got 4 boards of hardwood. I got 3 boards of luxury vinyl. I got 2 boards of, are you telling me I got to bring in 9 boards into this stupid house? No, that's not what I said. I'm going to bring in option 1 and we're going to work through option 1. And at the appropriate time, which we'll get to, at the appropriate time, if I need to go back and get option 2, I'm going to go back and get option 2. So even though in the tablet, I have prepared my 3 options, I know my strategy. I know where I'm going to go with this. My strategy is I've got a PG3 hardwood, then I've got a luxury vinyl plank, then I've got a laminate. Great. That's my strategy. That's what I'm going to use. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this. The customer doesn't know that's my strategy. That's my strategy. That's what I've zoned in on. Okay. What's another strategy? Well, another strategy might not be around the product. It might be around the scope. So let's say option 1, I'm going to do the whole house. The whole house. Maybe option 2 is you really wanted the living room and maybe the master bedroom. So option 1 might be the whole house. Option 2 might be the living room and the master bedroom. Option 3 might be just the living room because that's the one thing you said you absolutely have. Okay. So
quick question before you get too far on this, and I'm sorry, I just this one kind of throws me for a little because I was wrong on how many boards to bring out. The hardwood. Okay, I'm not going to pay 10 grand for that. Do I take that back to the truck or do I leave that laying on the floor so I can come back in with the second choice and then the third choice? Am I leaving them out in case he decides, you know, I really don't like this quality. Maybe I can step up, or do I just pull it right out of the equation?
I'm absolutely going to leave it there.
Okay.
100% I'm going to leave it there.
Thank you.
Because for the exact reason that you said, right? So it might, let's say I pulled 4 boards. They fell in love with 1, but ultimately they weren't going to spend that much. Okay, great. The other 3 boards I might go ahead and take back to the van, but the 1 board I'm going to leave it sit there. I'm going to go get my other boards. Now we've got luxury vinyl on the floor. Okay. Good. Maybe they pick one of those. Okay, good. But we're not going to spend that much.
Or maybe the wife steps in and she wants it. That's what she really wants versus the other.
So you're 100% right, because it might be that we end up coming back to that board.
Okay.
Okay. The ones that they don't like, sure, get those out of the way. But the ones that they do like, keep them there.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So scope. I love scope. The reason I love scope is because it has nothing to do with minty fresh breath. The reason I love scope is because it's hard to, once somebody has fallen in love with that hardwood floor, it's hard to then go back and get them to fall in love with the luxury vinyl plank. It's hard to get them to then fall in love with a laminate, right? You're trying to find that perfect color 3 times. Okay, it's a needle in a haystack sometimes. I love scope. The reason I love scope is because if I can build the whole house, well, then it's really, really easy just to remove some rooms out of the equation. And we don't have to pick product again. You've already fallen in love with the product. So instead of doing the whole house, let's just do part of the house, or let's just do even a little less than that. I love this, the idea of changing scope, changing the number of rooms, or changing the accessories that we're going to do. I love this as a strategy. Another strategy might be removing services. So what kind of services could you remove? Let's say you've got them built into option 1 and option 2. What kind of services could you take out for your option 3?
Furniture.
Easily do like furniture moving.
Yeah. So the customer could move out their own furniture. The customer could tear out the old carpet. What else?
I've heard of some customers that want to remove and reinstall their baseboards or switch out for new ones, but like install them themselves.
Good. Yep. So it might be that the customer is really handy and they want to do their own baseboards. Great. Right. So those are some of the services. Another thing that I love is, let's say at option 1, I build option 1 with a custom area rug in there. Well, look, some custom area rugs are like $2 grand. Well, that makes it really easy. Look, I tell you what we'll do. We'll keep the hardwood, but you can go to Walmart and get a rug. But we'll take care of this hardwood floor for you, and all of a sudden that price drops $2 grand. So I want you to think about this step 3. It's not about, I'm gonna run through the house as fast as I can. Yes, I'm gonna go through as fast as I can with the measurement. But when I get out to the van, I need to stop for a second and strategize. How am I gonna present this to the customer? Is this gonna be, an A-level hardwood, B-level hardwood, C-level hardwood? Or am I gonna do a hardwood and a vinyl and a laminate? Or am I gonna do, I'm gonna stick with the hardwood, but I'm gonna do the whole house versus just part of the house versus a little bit less? Am I gonna take some services out? Because I wanna be able to put together at least 3 options for this customer, okay? Now we're gonna present, we don't have time today. We're gonna present, next week, we're gonna talk a little bit about how do you actually present these 3 options to the customer, because you do not lay them out good, better, best. You absolutely are going to work all the way through option 1 before you move to option 2. So we'll get into the details of that later. Strategy. So when you think about how am I picking out product? I want you to be able to think, why are you picking the product that you picked? How does it solve the customer's problem, and how are you going to explain that? So in step 1, you had the opportunity to identify the customer's buying objections. In step 2, you had the opportunity to identify the flooring problem. Now in step 3, you're creating urgency and demonstrating your expertise in the inspection video. When you get to step 4 and 5, which is the company story, that's where you're going to differentiate yourself from the competition. And finally, in step 6, I chose this product for you because you said this, right? This is all leading up to, I want to go all the way back. This is all leading up to step 6, product presentation. I chose this product for you because you said you wanted this. Okay. And what did they say? Well, they said that they wanted a hardwood floor. They absolutely hated carpet because the dog ate the carpet. And so you know that you want a hardwood floor that's going to be durable enough for the dog. So how does this solve their problem? Why did you pick it? How are you going to explain it? How are you going to explain dropping from the whole house to the main space in one space? How are you going to explain dropping just to the main space? How are you going to explain dropping from a hardwood to LVT to a laminate? How are you going to be able to explain your strategy? Okay, so you have to be able, when you're strategizing in step 3, you're thinking through, how am I going to explain a drop from this to this to this? Now, see, to me, this is logical. You've got competitors that will show a price. The price for this is $20,000. And the customer says, I can't pay $20,000. And so the salesperson looks at him and says, well, I tell you what I can do for you. If you'll sign today, I can drop it 10. Well, what kind of nonsense crap is that? But you haven't changed anything. How do you explain a $10,000 drop? Well, it's games. Okay, good. It's just games. All right, I'm talking about, we're not playing games. We're talking about, you've moved from a hardwood to a LVP. We're going to get you the same look. We're going to get you the same feel. We're going to get you a similar durability. This is an LVT instead of a hardwood. Okay, you go from an LVT to a laminate. We're going to get you a similar look. We're going to get you a similar feel, but now we're going to do it in a laminate instead of an LVP. It's a logical way of dropping a price rather than just saying, oh, we're going to drop a price. Questions, comments? I'm about to shift gears in a big way. Nothing?
Well, I get it, what you're saying, and it really, I mean, I have never dropped price, because why didn't you give me that price in the first place is the first thing that I beg, an answer for, and then I've lost all interest. So you rationalize the whole process by just simply stating, because we're going from this to this to this, and I could live with that as a salesperson, if another salesperson were coming at me. So I've settled it. I like it. I'm gonna use it. That's all I can do.
Good. All right. I'm gonna shift gears.
It was very challenging for me when I was working on the tablet to do the exercises, okay, to do the options. And it was a little bit challenging for me personally, from my, I didn't know how to like eliminate some of the rooms.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Because that's what we do. Good. That's exactly where we're headed. So again, if you're following along, that's great. I'm going to move a little bit quick, but I think that's okay. So I'm going to jump straight to InspireNet. Around for me here. I'm going to jump straight onto my tablet. I'm going into InspireNet. So you can follow along if you want. Obviously, this is being recorded, so you can go back and watch again if you need to. But please stop me at any point. You can stop me at any point. You've got questions about what I'm going to do. So I'm looking at today, and I don't have any appointments today, so I'm just going to create a training task, and I'm going to do that by pushing this plus button. Now I have a training task, and I'm going to click on that to be able to open it up. If this were a real customer, this screen would be filled out. You'd have a customer name. There might be some project notes, an email, phone number. That's okay. I'm going to hit the go button down at the bottom right. Do I want to start the appointment? Yes, I do. And you'll notice that I've got my warm-up questions here. I've got my inspection prep questions here. I've even got, instructions about what to do with the reference list. So your sales system is built right into the tablet. If you forget the transition, everything's right here. It makes it so easy. So I hit the next button at the bottom right. How long have you been thinking about replacing the floor? The customer says, oh, I don't know, it's been about 8 months. Okay, well, that's between 6 months and a year. Well, what made you decide to do it today? Oh, I'm not doing anything today. I always get 3 estimates. Okay, good, 3 estimates. Now, maybe the customer decided they're going to call the reference list, and I can turn that guy on, and that's good. I hit the next button to go to the next screen. And this is where you get your primary and secondary strategy. This reminds you of what it is that you need to be able to do to land the sale. I'm going to move quickly through this so that we can get to the drawing screen. Now, there's a weird thing with Zoom. I cannot shoot an inspection video while I'm on Zoom. It's a weird thing with Zoom. It won't do it. So I can't shoot the inspection video right this minute. But this is where I would shoot an inspection video here. I'm going to hit next. And now we're at the drawing screen. Okay, so let's draw a couple of rooms together. I'm going to hit the square. And then I'm just going to touch the screen. And now when I touch the screen, I'm going to make up a couple of rooms. So let's say this room is 15 feet, 6 inches, and then it might be 10 feet, 8 inches that direction. It doesn't matter. And I hit the confirm button, and we're going to call this a bedroom. I can go to the door menu, and I can add a door if I want to. So to add a door, I'm going to simply touch on one of the walls, and it gives me a door, but it's not in the right place. So I touch the words door 1, and it opens up the door menu. And now if I want to move it to the other corner, I can simply move it from the left side to the right side. Or if it happens to be, it's not right on the wall, it's a little bit off the wall, maybe I can move it over some, whatever I need to do. If I need to trim the door, because what I'm about to put in is going to be much bigger than what was there before, I can put that on. If I need a transition between the room and the hallway, I can add the transition piece. So that's good. Takeout, I can always add a takeout. Well, maybe we'll do a kitchen and I'll add a takeout to the kitchen. So for now, let me just go back to the floor plan by hitting that button at the bottom right-hand side. And so we have a bedroom. So any questions about creating just a square room? Create a square room, add a door. Nope. All right. So let's, even though I said we're going to stick with squares, I just want to show you that the tablet will do other things, right? So I'm going to hit the pencil and I'm going to draw a room. So when I draw this room, I want to be really careful. This is not a drag. So I'm not taking my finger and dragging it across the screen. I'm touching the screen. And you have to be really careful that you don't double touch the screen. You need to single touch the screen. So I'm going to make a hallway, a funky hallway here, and I'm going to touch the screen. And now I'm going to go over and I'm going to touch the screen again. So I just touch it, and I've got a wall. Single touch only. I'm going to come down and maybe go across and down and back Now, when I get to the end, I am going to try to draw the last wall. I'm always going to stop one wall short. And you'll notice there's a button on the left-hand side that says close shape. So I hit the button that says close shape, and the tablet closes the shape for me. Now, I purposely drew this room with that weird angle, but this hallway doesn't have a weird angle. It's okay. When I put the numbers in, it's going to self-correct. It will fix itself. So now I'm going to measure. I have my measuring device, and I can say this is a 20-foot hallway, and lay it. Let's say it's 5 feet that way, and maybe this is 5 feet. Maybe this is 5 feet. Keep the math really simple here. And let's see, this is 10 feet. And you'll notice that now it's self-corrected, and it's drawn my hallway correctly. So it doesn't matter if I don't get the little dots in exactly the right place. Once I put the numbers in, it's going to fix itself. There was a question.
Yeah, Arlen, why don't you want to double tap?
If you double tap, it's going to create two walls on top of each other. And when it creates two walls on top of each other, it's going to give you an error. And it's really hard to, when you're in the moment in the customer's house, it's frustrating because it gives you an error and you don't see what the problem is because you can't see that there's one wall on top of the other wall.
That explains a lot. I've probably done that quite a few times.
And then you get this, what is it, like a error 401, invalid shape or some nonsense, right?
And you have to erase the entire room.
That's it. You erase it because you don't know where the problem is. And you can't see the problem because there's literally two lines right on top of each other.
Right. Thank you.
All right, so I hit the confirm button, and we can call this a hallway. That seems like a good hallway. I can put doors, but honestly, I normally don't even bother with doors in the hallway because I normally put my doors in the rooms, and that way I'm not worried about double transition pieces and that sort of stuff. I mean, if I put a doorway in the room and I put a doorway in the hall, now I have two doorways, and it's going to create two transitions, and I don't want that. I only want one transition. So for me personally, this is just one of my little shortcuts. I typically don't do doors in a hallway. I typically just do the doors in the rooms. You'll develop your own strategies for things, but that's one of mine. I'm not going to bother with a takeout or items to move here. We're going to just go back to the floor plan. And now it put the two rooms one on top of the other. Okay, well, that's fine. I can move it. I can drag the room across. It's no problem. If I need to rotate this hall, you notice up in the top left-hand corner of that hallway, there's a little arrow that goes back and forth. And if I just touch that arrow, it will rotate the room around. No, I can't rotate it in the other direction. It only rotates one way, but that's okay. I can rotate it around enough to get it where I need it to be. Let's draw a kitchen. So I'm going to hit another square, and I'm going to click on the screen, and let's create a kitchen. And I don't know, we'll make it a big kitchen. It's 18 by by 20. This will be a big kitchen. And hit confirm, and I'm just going to call this a kitchen. And the only reason I chose a kitchen here, I can put a doorway in. As a matter of fact, I can put a couple of doorways in. So I've got door 1, that's great. If I click the little plus now under door 1, I can create another door. We can put a door on the other wall. And that's fine. But I want to create a takeout. So takeout is a way of removing square footage from the space, removing square footage. So if somebody can see the little tiny numbers, how many square feet is this kitchen right now?
300.
360.
360.
Yep, 360. I know the numbers are really, really small, right? So this kitchen is 360 square feet. Well, I'm going to add a takeout. So what is my takeout? My takeout is the cabinets in the kitchen, because I'm not going to pull the cabinets out. I'm not putting flooring under the cabinets. So I'm going to remove the cabinet space. Well, I can measure all the cabinets and come up with a square footage number, but I'm too lazy for that. I mean, I could do that, and that square foot button, I know it's hard to see. All the way over on the right-hand side now, there's a little box that says square feet. And if I did my calculation and said, you know, this is 30 square feet worth of cabinet space, well, that's fine. I could put that number in there, but I'm too lazy for that. I could put in the actual measures. So the second button says measures. Well, I could measure it. So maybe there's an island, and this island is 6 feet by 4 feet or whatever. Okay, that's great. Notice there's two boxes. There's two sets of boxes, 4 boxes in total. The first box is feet. The second box is inches. The first box is feet. The second box is inches. So I could say that this is 6 feet, 0 inches, and 4 feet. But you know what? That's just it's too much. I'm too lazy for that. Standard cabinets, on the other hand, is brilliant, because all cabinets are about the same size, close enough. And all I've got to do in the kitchen, what's that, Mike?
I said I've messed this up and put square footage in standard cabinets.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So standard cabinet, this is a linear footage measurement. So I walk into the kitchen and I say, I've got about, you know, I add up, let's see, there's 6 feet here, and there's 4 feet here, and there's this here, and this. I've got about 18 feet worth of cabinet space, linear feet. So if I put 18 linear feet here, now what does it tell me my square footage is in this room?
328 and a half.
Yeah, 328.5 square feet. So the tablet has programmed in, you know, typically cabinets are like 22 inches deep or whatever it is. I don't care. It's some number. And so the tablet has that programmed in. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. Go into a kitchen, measure it from drywall to drywall, and then simply add up the number of linear feet worth of cabinet space that you got, plug that number in here, and run on to the next room. Items to move. Maybe I've got some appliances, you know, maybe I've got a stove and a dishwasher. That's good. I might have a toilet or a pedestal sink or something in a bathroom. A heavy item to move is a single item, like a picnic, like a pool table or a piano or something that's got to be moved. And of course, I've got another menu for photos and notes or whatever if I want to add something else here. I can go back to the floor plan. Now I've got this big kitchen sitting here, and I can move it around and whatever I need to do. I can resize this by pinching the screen, as long as I'm not pinching where the rooms are.
Hey, and if people don't know, that you can lose these rooms on this screen if you slide them too far over, and it takes forever to find them.
Well, you can. So let's just slide them way off the screen, Clayton. Now let me show you a trick. You see where that layer button is? You see the
little
number
box.
1 next to the years?
Yeah, I see
right
it.
above there, there's a square inside of a square.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the square inside of a square, and it's going to bring everything back to my screen.
Well, that's good to know. I wish I'd have known that, because I spent I don't know how many minutes trying to find my rooms one day.
Yeah. So you hit the square inside of the square, and it centers it. I know it doesn't look centered on the screen, but when it syncs to Salesforce, this is centered. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you, before you move on to the next screen, to always center it up anyway. Just hit the square inside of a square before you move to the next screen.
Hey, Arlen?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, then move your stuff accordingly to where the screen is actually centered. Okay.
I'm still seeing how to do the draw. I'm kind of was fooling around with it, and I'm getting, when I click it, I just get like one little wall. I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, maybe you can do one more room or something.
Yeah. So let's hit the draw button. Okay.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use my magic finger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just touch the screen. And when I touch the screen, I get a little circular dot, right? I just get a little circle.
Got that.
All right. Now I'm not dragging my finger. You know, I've got all 10 fingers where you can see them. I'm not dragging my finger across the screen. Now I'm going to touch the screen again one time. I'm going to touch the screen one time, horizontal from that button, and now I get a wall. Touch
Yeah.
the screen once. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit up from that, and I'm going to touch the screen again one time. That's it, one time.
All right, well, it made my, hang on. That's how I'm doing.
Now I might come over, let's say I go over about halfway, why not? And touch the screen one time. That's it. Okay.
The first wall, you
And now
touch the
maybe-
screen twice.
What's that, Sam?
I think he's having trouble with the first wall. So actually on the first wall, you touch the screen twice. The other walls, it's once.
Well, I'm getting just small little walls. I mean, see that.
All right, so that looks like, so did you hit draw? Yeah, you hit draw?
Yeah.
Or did you hit the square box?
No, draw. I mean, that's 4 touches to make a wall, make the square.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So never try to draw the last wall.
Well, I'm just touching the screen. So here's a.
Yeah, I understand you're touching the screen, but you're trying
That's
to draw the last.
That's my first one. So should I touch the screen again somewhere else?
Okay, so I'm gonna cancel this room and I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna hit the draw. So I've hit the pencil, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna make a square, even though I could have done a square some other way.
Yeah.
I touched the screen. I touched the screen 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's it. I've created 3 walls, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I am not going to try to draw the last wall. I'm not even going to try.
Okay.
Instead, I'm going to hit the button to the left that says close shape.
Close shape, okay.
Okay, so when I close shape, now it closes the shape and it gives me the little input box for me to put the numbers in.
Okay. Is there any reason why looks like yours are a little larger than mine?
Yeah, because I drew it bigger.
How do you draw it? Touching the screen?
He might be zoomed out.
Yeah, I think he's touching the dots too close together.
Right.
I'm just touching this.
That's what you're doing. That's what I did wrong.
So you touch it.
Yeah, just leave a bigger spread between dots.
I'm just touching the screen though. Or are you touching somewhere else?
Farther away.
The screen
I
further
see.
apart.
Okay. You're touching the screen where you want to go. The next dot.
Yes.
Yeah, each dot is a touch. Touch the screen further apart.
I got it.
There you go.
I'm just touching.
Is there a direction that we need to touch the screen with, like clockwise or against clockwise, or?
I didn't
It doesn't
realize
matter.
you,
Clockwise,
Doesn't matter.
clockwise doesn't matter.
I didn't realize you touched the spaces in different, as far as you wanted to go.
Yep. Okay. So I've got
I will
these
say,
rooms.
one thing that Charles taught me, if you do have a room where you need an angle, like it's a big angle or something, to do that wall last, to do the angled wall last if you're drawing. And then something I noticed myself is over exaggerate the angle. If like really make it draw an angle, Yeah, like
Arlen, this is some of the challenges I had. I mean, that's why I asked the question. Okay, when in some of the exercises that we had, okay, with the homework, I tried to put in the numbers as they go. Like they're giving me numbers 12, 12, 10, 5, 5. Okay, then the shape of it kept switching the shape of the room. It was changing the shape of the room for me. So like it would be crooked. It would not be like the shape of it will be crooked. So when I follow.
So did you sit down with Owen and have him take a look at it with you?
Well, I was doing it, practicing at home. I mean, on this.
Sure. But so the tablet functionality in particular is really tough to do over Zoom. This is where you have to sit down with your franchise owner and say, hey, look, I'm having difficulty with this drawing. Show me how to do this.
Okay. No, it was just like numbers. I mean, that's, you know, it kept like making the shape like crooked.
the shape.
No, it's not correct.
All right. So, and Mike is 100% right. So I've drawn this exaggerated, but it might be that this is 8. Let's say this is 10. This one's going to be 10. And this is 8. And then the tablet's going to correct it. So even though it's a small angle, I over exaggerated it because the tablet is going to fix it anyway. So I'm just going to give this another bedroom. We'll put a door here somewhere and go back to the floor plan. So it doesn't matter even if it's a small angle. If I want to do it, that's fine. I'm going to force the tablet to do the angle. The angle is going to be the last wall, and I'm going to over exaggerate it. All right, I need to move forward. If you're still struggling with the drawing, I would encourage you either get in touch with me later or sit down, spend some time with your franchise owner and work through the drawing piece, because it's important that you can do this. The next thing that you need to do is tell it what the subfloor is. Now, you can do one room at a time, or you can do all rooms at the same time. It doesn't matter. I'm going to hit the space info button. You'll see over on the left, all rooms have been highlighted. Maybe in this case, there's no furniture, so I can take the furniture out. What am I removing? Okay, I've got a whole list of things that I could remove. I've got a subfloor type. Maybe this is all on OSB. That's great. I know that I've got subfloor in each one of these rooms because I now can see inside the room, it actually says OSB in each one of these rooms. So that's fine. I can center this up and I hit the $sign to move forward to the next one. All right, so this customer said that they wanted hardwood. Okay, they want hardwood throughout. Okay, good. So we're gonna pick a hardwood, and I'm just, for the sake of time, I'm going to pick a PG3 hardwood. So I'm going to select all 4 rooms, and I'm going to hit my set install button, which is the little hammer. And I'm just going to pick a hardwood. I'm going to pick just a PG3 hardwood so that we can get a number in here quickly. And yes, I have some options here. For example, trim work at the bottom. You know, I might be able to install new quarter round to existing baseboards. I might have to remove and reinstall baseboards, or remove and reinstall whatever. That's fine. So I'm just going to leave this as install quarter round to existing base and hit enter. And now I have a $12,000 option. The option's really not complete until I hit the complete option button, and I can see all the details. That's very interesting, but now I'm going to go back. Okay, so here's a trick. Let's say that this is all rooms. How did I change the name of that? I simply clicked that little pencil up there that right beside the all rooms, and I changed the name of it. Okay. Now, let's say that for my option 2, I'm going to take the kitchen out. So the customer said, you know, the kitchen, maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't do it. Okay, good. The priority is to get the 2 bedrooms and the hallway done. Okay. So now I'm going to take the kitchen out. It's very easy. This is the easiest thing in the world to do. It confuses people sometimes, but it's the easiest thing in the world. So I'm going to hit, there's a button right below option 1. It's a copy button. And I'm going to hit that copy button, and it's going to duplicate it. Now I have 2 options that are exactly the same.
Hey, Arlen, real quick, pricing is going to be different in each territory, correct?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, yeah, because I'm quite a bit more than what you are.
And Clayton, my tablet is tied to a test box, and there's no telling what kind of class is in the test box. Okay.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Pay no attention to the actual number. Okay. Pay no attention to the actual number. Okay. All right. So I have all rooms at 12 grand for what that's worth. Now for option 2, I want to remove the kitchen. This happens really, really fast. So watch this. I'm going to select the kitchen. And when I select the kitchen, there now is a button at the bottom. It's a little X and it says remove from option. And all I have to do is click that X. It'll ask me if I'm sure, and I hit yes. And all of a sudden I have an option 2 with everything except the kitchen. And yes, I can hit the complete option and I can look at all the details. That's great. That's wonderful. But now I have option 1 and option 2. Let me
Hey,
pause
on those,
here and see.
when we start removing, like, so on some of our exercises we did, it wants you to remove stuff. When you start removing rooms that didn't have a transition before, when you remove that room, will it automatically add a transition back into that shared door?
Okay. All right. So in this case, I had a transition in the kitchen. In fact, I had 2 transitions in the kitchen, right?
Uh-huh.
But I did not have a transition in the hallway. So let's say the kitchen butts up to the hallway. Well, it might be that I need to go in and add a transition in the hall.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is hardwood. So this option is going to be hardwood, no kitchen. All right, good. So I should have put a space there, but it's okay. All right, let's create another option. This option, let's say we do carpet in the bedrooms and we do laminate in the hallway. We can do that. So I'm going to create another option. I'm going to hit that little plus button, new option. This for my 2 bedrooms.
I don't.
This time, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't have remove room from option.
Did you select one of the rooms?
Okay, I see what it is now. Okay, I was confused there. Okay, yep. There it comes up. Thanks.
It only shows up after you select the room. You have to select the room, and then you have the option of removing that from your option.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right. So now I've selected the 2 bedrooms, and I'm going to put carpet in those bedrooms. Set install info, pick carpet. That's great. Again, I'm just going to pick defaults, and I'm going to pick something simple like a PG3 carpet, no problem. And I'm not going to worry with a seaming diagram or anything. I'm not going to get into all that jazz. Now I have carpet in the 2 bedrooms, and I want to add hardwood to the hallway. No problem. I'm still on option, well, it says option 1. It's my 3rd option over. I'm still on this option. You see, if I click across the first option, the second option, now I'm at this option. So as long as that button is highlighted, I'm still working on that option. So I can now select the hallway, set install info, and this time pick a hardwood. Same thing as before. I'm just going to pick a PG3. I'm not going to get worked up over the product just yet. Okay. And in this one, I've got carpet in the bedrooms and hardwood in the hall. So those words are just for me to be able to kind of remember what I've done. All right, so I've got 3 options here. And there's a pretty big spread between the all rooms and the, between the first and the second option. But I like the spread between the second and the third. And between the first and second is okay because this kitchen area is just a really big kitchen. Okay, so in my mind, how am I going to explain this to the customer? Well, you asked about doing hardwood everywhere. So I've put together a proposal that has hardwood everywhere. Then you asked about, well, the kitchen, maybe the kitchen you do it, maybe you don't. You weren't really sold on the kitchen. So I've got another option where it's the same hardwood. It's exactly the same hardwood, but now we're going to put that just in the 3 rooms and not do the kitchen. But before I leave, I've got another idea for you. I know you really wanted to be able to make a statement because you can see this hallway from everywhere in the house. What if we kept the hallway in hardwood, but we put a nice carpet in the bedrooms? Okay, great. Now, I don't know if that works for this customer. I'm making this up as I go along, right? This has to fit with what the customer said in step 2. If the customer said, I absolutely hate carpet, well, then no, I can't do this. I got to do something else. Okay. But this gives them the hardwood that they love in the hallway, and it gives them something new in the bedrooms too. Okay. It's fun. You can build this out 100 different ways. Now I'm going to show you another little, this is like a little preview of where we're going. Okay. Let's say that the customer, you know, this all rooms one, this is a little preview. Okay. So don't freak out yet. I go to my company story. I do my company story. Guy, you should have heard this company story. It was absolutely magical. Okay. Now I'm going to show the customer the options. Okay. And before I show them the price, they've decided on a particular hardwood. There is a specific hardwood that they fell in love with. Okay, great. So I come back to this screen. And before, this is key, before I show the customer the price, I click on the complete option button, and down here at the bottom of this section, there's 5 icons that are right across the bottom of this section. There's a plus, there's a folder, there's a pencil, and there's a button that 2 arrows cross one another. Okay, I call that my switcheroo button. Okay, we're going to do a quick switcheroo here. So right now, this hardwood is a PG3 hardwood. But I'm going to hit that switcheroo button. And now the customer has picked Hamlin Hickory. Great. I'm going to type in the word Hamlin. And they picked Hamlin Hickory. And they picked Woodlake as the color. All right, so there it is. And I'm going to pick that very specific board now. And now what you'll notice is PG3 is gone from the top of this. And now Hamlin Hickory is in its place. And the price has changed, and instead of being 12 whatever, now it's 11,030. Because now I have picked the exact product to put in place. So when I'm back in step 3 and I'm putting together a rough estimate, the customer never sees that number. That's not for the customer. That's for you to be able to capture your strategy and capture your notes. And it will literally take you 30 seconds to go back. Once the customer has picked, this is the exact product I want, it will literally take you 30 seconds to go back in, hit the switcheroo button, and put the right product in there. But you have to do it before you show the customer the price.
So hey, on these are pre-finished. You're quoting on pre-finished hardwoods here, correct? Not a full new install sand and finish, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Now, I could do it that way. I could do the same thing that way. I could put in wood and sand and refinish and whatever else, but my gosh, I mean, I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy, but that's okay. I mean, you can do it.
My understanding with price groups is that whatever you pick in that price group is going to be the same square footage dollar amount. Sorry, go ahead.
It's going to be this. It's not the same, but it's within a range.
Okay.
The price group is within a range. Okay. And the price groups are really, really good to be able to create that rough draft just to get everything rocking and rolling. Okay. But then I want to put in the exact product name before I show the customer the price so that I have the exact thing.
Okay.
So is the price group price that it kicks up when you select price group, whatever it is that the high end of that price group?
Right.
Nope. It's a weighted average of that price group. It's a weighted average. So you might have a product that's higher than that. You might have a product that's lower than that. The price group is a range.
Okay.
It's a range. Now, what is the range? Hey, here's another little tool for the tablet. notice down here at the bottom left, there's something called product selector. You have to be attached to Wi-Fi for this to work, but I am, so this is going to work for me. I click on product selector, and this is what I get, unauthorized. Okay, good. So that's all right. It happens every time I change Wi-Fi's. I have to go back and close the app and open it back up again. It's not a problem. As a matter of fact, if I just hit the 3 lines here and I close that and then open it back up, it'll probably work. But I may, if it doesn't, I'm going to have to unhook Wi-Fi and then rehook it for this. Let's just see. I don't lose anything. Here it is. Product selector. Good. All I had to do was close the app and open it back up again. So for example, with wood, I click on wood and I can see all my different things here. And look, there's Hamlin Hickory 5-inch right there. Right there it is at the top of the list now. And I can see that Hamlin Hickory is considered, it's actually considered a price group 2. Okay. So that's fine. Price group 3 would have been something, maybe the Hamlin Hickory mixed with, or, you know, I can see the price group is over here on the right-hand side. So this is great. I can see everything that's here. All right. So the point of today was not to dive too deep into the product yet. We will get to the product more later. The point of today was to kind of walk you through what does it look like to be able to put a strategy together and then be able to show the customer your options based on that strategy. Okay, so I've got 3 options here. One has got everything. The other's got the hardwood everywhere except the kitchen. The other has got hardwood in the hallway, but not in the, and then carpet in the bedroom. So when I show the customer the price now for all rooms, I'm showing the customer the price now with the Hamlin Hickory built in because I changed it. Great, here we are. All right, a lot of food for thought here. One thing that I need to just remind you, even training tasks can block up syncs if you don't close them. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to hit the button that says continue to proposal, scroll all the way down, continue to proposal again, scroll all the way down and hit complete appointment. And I'm just always going to mark this as a demo and hit enter. And that way this appointment is closed. I can see it's closed because it says demo on the front screen. All right. So we went through that. I'm going to stop for questions momentarily, but I want to make sure if somebody needs to jump right at 3 that they can do so. So for next week we're going to dive deeper into the company's story. Now, I want you to start to put transitions between the slides. I'm going to send you some help when it comes to transitions between the slides. I don't really want you to memorize these transitions, but if you like them, use them. It's okay. So I'm going to send you a little bit of help on the transitions for the company story. I also want you to start to get into the features, advantages, and benefits for carpet. You've already got all the fabs for carpet, so there's nothing new to send there. You've already got that. You should be finishing up with week 3 in Floor U. You should be finishing up with the Salesforce order flow. Continue to get ride-alongs and reference list pictures. You guys are killing it. You're doing a great job. Our next call is going to be next Tuesday. Be careful. It's next Tuesday. So a change in day next week. And that's going to be from 1 to 3 next week. If you're making this up, you're watching this after the fact, and you're making this up, your webinar makeup word is South Australia. And yes, code word comes from the same place that the other ones did. So it's all the same. It's all connected. There's a method to the madness.
It's kind of like Easter, right?
Arlen,
So questions?
is there a minimum ride along for the course? Like that?
You should have 25. Yeah, you should get 25.
25 ride along through the 5 weeks?
Yeah, over the 5 weeks.
Okay, so far I have 1.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you and Owen need to spend some quality time together.
Okay, well, I need to sit with him and, you know, talk about it. So I need at least 25. That's the minimum.
Yes, that is the goal. Get to a minimum of 25.
Okay, great. All right, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Arlen, I had a question
Oh,
about the options. You did the option stuff, and you said not to show the customer. What's the significance of bringing those options up and not showing the customer until they make a selection? I'm just trying to.
Because you don't know, so you show them a price. In this particular case, when we did it, I had a $12,000 price, and then when I put the actual product in, it came down. So the customer's
Right.
going to be, they're going to love that. But it's
They-
also possible that you put in a PG and then it goes up.
Yeah.
Well, the customer's going to think that you're doing a bait and switch.
So are you just putting that together real quick to get the price in so you move on to the next options?
Okay, so we're going to dive into this later, but that's okay. It's a good question. In sales, so all the way back, here we go, right here. Those of you that have done selling, when the customer, where in this path, where is the customer the most excited? Where do you think your customer's the highest level of emotion, the highest level of excitement is going to be for the customer out of all this?
Product presentation.
Product. When the customer finds the product that they absolutely love, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. This is the perfect hardwood. I love this. This is fantastic, right? This step 6 is it's an emotional crescendo for the whole thing, right? Okay. Yeah. When do I want to be able to show them the price?
The pre-close.
I want to be able to show them a price
during that excitement.
when emotionally they're way up.
Yeah.
Right?
Immediately after.
Okay. So I want the time between when they pick the product and when I show them a price to be very, very short.
Yeah.
This pre-close step, when we get here, you're going to realize this pre-close step is 30 seconds. This is a very, very quick step, okay? I want the time between them saying, this is the hardwood that I love. I want the time between that and the close to be very, very fast.
Yep.
So if I wait until the product presentation to build my proposal, what's going to happen? Well, they pick out a product and then it takes me 20 minutes to put a proposal together. Now I've let all the emotional, I've let all the air drain out of the balloon.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So instead, I want to build a proposal using PGs because that's very fast. I want to build a proposal using PGs. And right here at step 6, when they say, this is the one I absolutely love, it takes 20 seconds to go back and put in the exact part number, the exact product, so that I have the exact price. That's it. I don't want to have to change a bunch of things. I want this to be really, really fast.
Yeah. So, and it's almost like you strategize it to where, okay, I know they want the hardwood. I got my PG2 in there. I'm just looking for, out of the 3 boards I'm showing them, they're going to select what color they like and style. And that way.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So I'm doing that. I'm doing that, the PG, doing the and step 5 is when I'm like putting those numbers in.
Step 3.
Step 3. Okay.
Step 3 is where you're putting together your rough draft.
Okay.
And then step 4, you're giving them the company story. Step 5 is the installation presentation. Step 6, now you're actually showing them the product. They pick the product they love, right. And you take 20 seconds to basically jump back to step 3 and change that part number really, really fast.
Drop them what they like, and you give
right.
Right, and then so if they want, and then once they look at that price, then are you going to options 2 and 3 based on? Oh,
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the close. We'll get to that in the close. So the customer does not see the price in step 6. The customer does not see the price in step 7. The customer finally sees the price in the close. The close is when I show them the price and say, the product, this floor is going to cost you 11 grand. Okay, right. I'm going to do it much more diplomatically than that. But this product is this floor is an $11,000 floor. Good. So now if the customer says, there's no way I'm ever spending $11,000. Fine.
Right.
I'm going to simply go back to step 6. The hardwood is off the table. Now we've got a luxury vinyl plank. I've already got the luxury vinyl plank option built. I've already got it built.
I gotcha.
Right? But they pick out the LVP that they love. Good. Now I'm simply switching out the LVP one for the one they love.
And the same thing in step 3, they say, well, let's just do the bedrooms and carpet if that was maybe something they were thinking about. And then you have those options.
Yep. That's right. Then I've got the options built. So that this back, it's okay in step 3. If I have to spend 20 minutes building stuff, it's no problem. It's no problem. But once I've shown them a product, to move from the product to the close needs to be fast.
Gotcha.
I want to be able to show them a product while they're excited and everything's wonderful and everything's lovely. I want that to be the time that I show the product. I mean, I've been in on the receiving end of sales systems where they show me a product and I get really excited. And yeah, that's the one I love. And then they sit on my couch for 45 minutes building a proposal. Well,
and
crap, I don't
you
need
lose
you
them, huh?
You can go to the office and do that. I got stuff to do.
Right. Okay. That makes sense now.
So from step 6, step 7, you're just building the value to cushion the shock, and make sure that they've got everything in their mind to make that decision.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. The step 7 is truly, it's a diagnostic question. We'll get to step 7. Step 7 is a 30-second step. It is 30 seconds. This is really fast. It should not take more than 30 or 45 seconds to get from step 6 to here's your price. It should be that fast.
Yep.
And in order to keep this really, really fast, that's why we build the proposal back in step 3. But yeah, you've got a price group. That's fine. You can use a price group to start with. You know, some franchise owners just leave the price group in there. They're like, you know what? It's within a range. It's close enough. I don't care. That's okay. But I want to show you how you can put the exact product in. That's no problem. You can put the exact product in. And then you're showing a price for that exact product. Good. Everybody's happy. Other questions?
So if I don't meet the 25 ride-alongs, what's going to happen?
That's up to Owen, not me.
Okay.
You don't work for me. You don't work for me. You work for Owen.
I want to try that. So it's his decision, not anybody else.
Right. That's up to him.
Okay. Because I need to do that, but I need to see him more often.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
all right, great.
All right, team. Remember, next week is Tuesday. I've got an all-day meeting on Wednesday, so we had to move this to Tuesday. No problem. It just means that we'll see each other that much sooner.
Okay. Great. All right. Thank
you. All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Arlen.
Take care. Thanks.